Alright, so this week I checked out Rats. Now, I've got a very fond memory of drunkenly watching this with a friend one time, and rewatching it sober, it doesn't disappoint. It is masterfully made stupidity. So, more commonly known with the subtitle included Rats, Night of Terror, it's a 1984 post-apocalyptic horror film directed by Bruno Mattei, who's best known for doing a bunch of really sleazy sexploitation films, and also co-directing Zombie Flesh Eaters 2 with Lucio Fulci, which we'll be covering later on in the series. So there's a hell of a lot of rats in this, and there's a hell of a lot of bad dubbing.
I'm gonna warm their whiskers.
How do you know? You got this. Look at that.
This is sugar!
Look, I'm awake! I'm waiting all of you!
The film starts with narration and a text crawl. Seems a little overkill, really. It tells us that a bomb went off in the year 2015 and it wiped out most of the population of the Earth. So now we follow on 225 years after this, and we follow a bunch of dickheads as they find an old abandoned building. And it seems ideal for them because it's got a lot of food and water. But it's also got a lot of mutated rats that eat people. So it follows a slasher formula where a bunch of people getting killed and the group's trying to figure out who did it and how it can be stopped. It's a lot of silly fun, and scenes generally boil down to people overreacting over a bunch of bored and harmless looking rats.
From that moment begins the era that will come to be called after the bomb.
Here come the rats! Open up! For God's sake! Right! Blake! Keep moving! Don't stop! This is torture! I can't stand it anymore!
As I previously said then, this film is full of hilariously bad dubbing, and it really brings the film to life. Every character's got their own little quirk, and the character Lilith in particular is worth keeping your eyes on because she has some brilliant delivery. Outside of that, the pacing's pretty good, keeps you engaged for most of the film until, say, around the last 20 minutes or so. It kind of gets a little bit drawn out. There's a great twist at the end though, and it really got me laughing. The sets and the costumes are very fitting for an 80s post-apocalypse film, almost like the apocalypse happened and this group could only get the clothes from a local theatre costume department. Kind of feels a bit like a theatre play actually. When the gang's all together, they're all sort of stood in one big line facing the camera, and the bit towards the beginning where they're checking out the building, I expect them to burst into song at any minute.
Let's see.
I'll make you pregnant. If you can make that thing work.
How could it happen? How could it happen? In the cellar, we found strange and wonderful things.
Christ, you dirty beast! That's why our water gets polluted! Shit!
The violence and gore is pretty good, even if we don't get a lot of it. There's some pretty good corpses, and the rats coming out of people look quite fun, especially the exploding ones. There really are a hell of a lot of rats in this. Makes me wonder if it's one maybe to watch out for with like animal cruelty and such. We see a few getting knocked about, but as far as I can remember there aren't any getting killed on camera, so not really sure. There's this great bit where it's trying to look like a bunch of rats are running towards the camera, but it's just a bunch of fake ones on a conveyor belt. It's really quite a cute effect, really.
No! Come on! Stop beating on us! You can save us if you hurry! God, never saw anything like it! Open the...
Now for the print. And it's great this time around. Clear image, clear sound. Not much more I can really say on it. I mean, it's not like high quality or anything, but it's way better than I was expecting. And we get nothing new on the disc. chapter select, stills, filmographies, and you guessed it, 4 repeated trailers. At least we get all 4 of them this time. Now let's have a look at this case. All fine, nothing really to say here. It's short and to the point, and all the info's correct. Pretty good job here, Vipco. We get the Vault of Horrors logo again. It's expected at this point though. Overall then, this film is a lot of fun. It's silly and it's gory in all the right ways. I can definitely see myself popping this one on when friends come round. If you like post-apocalyptic films, gory films, or films with awful acting and dubbing in them, then this one is definitely worth checking out. There is a Blu-ray out there by 88 Films if you do fancy the upgrade, but honestly this one's fine, and if you see it out and about for cheap and you fancy checking it out, it's probably worth grabbing. So, decent film this week. About time we had one of those really. Next week, who knows, I think we're heading back to the slasher genre judging by the title, but I've got no idea. So we're going to be checking out The Slayer. Very generic title and kind of catching the sun. Whee.